Hermes Castro.
All
He
right.
is one of the last drivers to get a qual lap in with about a minute and a half to go. Let's see what he's able to do.
Let's go ahead and while we're doing that, let's kind of talk about the point standings right now.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Castro, he is at the top of the board getting that win, which was a huge win for him last week, followed by Joey Doucette, the regular season point leader. Everybody else is really all battling for that top spot. The top 8 separated only by 30 points. So, you can't have a bad race. You have to make sure that you are on point. Now, for those drivers out in the back, Mike Slatcher, Marco Berube, Andrew Serwick, Shootman, they're all in a tight battle for that number 8 spot. So we'll see. Can Castro get it done? He just set up the second fastest time in qual, so maybe he'll get another win. It could be somebody else. It could be from the back of the pack. Anybody can win here. But one car that I do know that is having a strong run, Whirl. He's not in the point standings. He's not in the run for the championship, but he's always at the front here when we race.
All right, so let's talk about your keys to the race tonight, John.
Yes. There really is only one true key. You obviously survive. But first key, you have to be patient. You can't win on the first lap. You can't win on the second lap, the 50th lap, 135th. Doesn't matter. You have to be patient. That's number one. Number two, stay out of trouble. A lot of times it's hard to pass here at Bristol, especially in these cars, and it's hard to keep control, as we just saw the 91 tag the wall. So staying out of trouble is going to be key. And then third, tires. You have to save tires. It's going to be a long race. We probably are going to see some caution, so we may not use all of the sets of tires, but no matter what happens, if you save tires, you'll be fast at the end.
All right, so the competitors are beginning to grid up. We're getting on pit lane. While we do that, let's go ahead and bring up the grid for tonight. In the Tech4Troop's, it's Bristol Baby 250.
Alrighty, starting on the pole, Christopher Whirl. He's been there before in the number 8 machine. In second, your current point leader with one win in the point standings is Hermes Castro. In third, Harley Barletta looking for that first win out of AJM. Same thing with Luke Bullard. Look at him qualifying in fourth, looking to make a good run. Ian Upton in fifth, Pittman in sixth. Alonzo King Jr. starting in seventh place with William Mann Jr. to his outside. Joey Doucette, the regular season point series champion, or the regular season point champion, on ninth, and John Ledger, his teammate, in 10th.
In 11th, you've got the 37 of Sean Shootman, and on his outside, Ty Bosick in the 22. In 13th, Joey Thompson in the 31, and on his outside, Marco Berube in the 99. Inside, Andrew Serwick in the 43, and to his outside, David Watts in the 54. Pete Woodrum in that familiar one is in 17th, and you've got Brad Previtt to the outside in the 91. Jeff Denis in the 40 and Thomas Thompson in the 78 bring up the end of the field, and we're looking forward to the start of this race. So we're waiting for a few more competitors to get in their cars and get ready to go. We should be about to drive off momentarily and get this race underway.
I believe so. I believe the keys of the race are still live on the broadcast as well. From my vantage point, there we go.
Yep, we've taken that down. Sorry about that. It was confusing. And just in case, I'll bring up the starting grid just to let folks can see that again without the keys of the race in front of them.
Absolutely. A lot of strong contenders in tonight's event. Wildman says, I hope you have enough caution lap trivia questions. Oh, yeah, we're prepared. We are prepared for tonight's event. So let's see what we're able to do here. Cars are on the track. Rick, it's going to be wild.
It certainly is. It's so I'm hoping that we can get back and see just what has caused those incidents. But very often, driver error, simple mistakes. It's just going to be that way.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. As the cars are making their way around. Going to have one more lap. Should be getting the green this time by.
So there's an added wrinkle here tonight, John, with with the way that iRacing works, with the number of incidents and what happens on the track. So there may be some penalties thrown after a certain amount of incidents that these drivers will have to deal with. It really is about protecting your car and staying out of trouble, or you may wind up in the penalty box.
Yep, we're going to try to give you live coverage of what those standings are. So if you see your favorite driver make their way down pit road, all of a sudden you don't know why, well, we'll tell you if it's a penalty because of incidents or not. But either way, pace car makes its way down to the track. The 8 car is the leader. We're about to get tonight's race underway. We have green flag racing at Bristol.
Already, Christopher World jumps out. Hermas Castro right on his tail will drop back to the back of the field. We're seeing single file beginning to come together here as drivers begin to find their way around this track. As a driver, this track is all about repetition. Can I make and hit my marks every way and every time around? Because if you can't, you're going to wind up in that safer barrier on the outside.
Yes, you are. You already saw a car get a little bit loose there, a little bit further on in the pack. But yes, you're right. Rhythm is the name of the game here at Bristol. And you just got to get settled in. You know, we're already 4 or 5 laps in coming this time by. So they go by quick, but it's all about staying consistent, staying to what you know, and keeping your car in rhythm. You could already see Hermes Castro making his way to the high side of the
there was contact just there.
Yep, that was
the 80.
80. Was that the 81 of Barletta?
It was the 81 of Harley Barletta tagging that inside safer barrier.
Yep, we saw cars get loose coming off the corners here intensely, especially early in a run. So it's definitely when those tires start to transition over from cold to hot. We just see a lot of action right now. But looking up at the front of the pack, you have Christopher Earl in first, Hermas Castro in second, William Mann Jr. in third. Going to the high side of the 25 machine, he gets by him. Hermes dropping back, but here comes Luke Bullard to P3.
So if this is the first time you're watching us since the playoff started, you're seeing some blue bars, drivers highlighted in blue. Those drivers there are the ones that are in the round of 12. And after next week's race, that round of 12 will become the round of 8. So stay tuned and we'll keep you up to date as to who is currently in trouble.
Right now, the top 3 on the board are actually non-playoff drivers. So we almost had this discussion last week, Rick. What happened if somebody who's not a playoff driver won? You know, that's going to basically free up a spot for one of those drivers who maybe not be running at the top of the board typically at the race. So we'll see what happens as Ryan Pittman now slides his way into 4th position, the highest placed playoff driver. Rick, we're already seeing something that we typically see here at Bristol, lap down cars. So looking ahead, William Mann Jr., he already is catching the back door of the 81.
He sure is, and this is, we've seen William Mann Jr. as a competitive driver in other races, but this race, he is running out front with a good gap, nearly half a second above Christopher Worrell. He's got this track down. He's hitting his marks. He's successful. He listened to your broadcast.
Yes, he did. And looking right now, it's definitely proving dividends because a win at Bristol is a very prestigious thing to do because just look at all the mayhem. Look at the not so wide racing surface. You think it's really wide, but you really only have one groove here. And right now, he's already making his way up to the top of the track. Take a little bit further on back, looking at Luke Bullard and Ryan Pittman there. Pittman is looking to win his way into the round of 8. Right there behind him is Alonzo King, a hungry driver as well. Now, I want to pay attention to Alonzo King for a second because Alonzo King won his first race here in the Cup Series at Richmond. So he seems to be a strong contender in that short track realm, but you can't also count out the 11 of Joey Doucette, the regular season point champion, sitting right there in P6. Now, we're 16 laps into a 250-lap event, Rick. Anything can happen, but right now it's showing to be the non-playoff drivers to be at the point.
We've got a number of drivers who've made their way down to pit road and got probably some damage taken care of. They may have used a fast repair. They may have done what it took to get their car back in shape. Harley Barletta, unfortunately, is already 1 lap down, so we are seeing Thomas Thompson. He's already retired for the night. This is not an easy track. Jeff Denis already retired for the night. This is a hard track. This takes a lot of concentration, a lot of repetition, and you can't miss your mark.
You can't, and that's what happens. We saw with the 81. Now, typically at Bristol, we do see caution, so getting your lap back is possible. But right now, 20 laps clean. Green here at Bristol, almost 10% of the way through here with the lead change about to happen. Chris World going to take the point away possibly from William Mann Jr.
Not yet.
We'll see. It's possible. Can he do it? It's going to be hard to pass on the bottom when that higher lane is going to have the run off the corner.
Very easy to drift up, catch a little contact there. I expect to see at some point Hermas Castro. He tends to be the driver that always loves that high line, finding that highway around the track to be able to exploit that. This is a great track. If you can run that high line, you can definitely make your way faster on this track.
Oh, you sure can. You sure can. And right now they are catching the back bumper of Bradford. Oh, the 8 slides right in front of William Mann Jr. Tight move, as Luke Bullard is now making his way up to P3, bringing the 08 of Pittman and the 80 of Alonzo King with him. That's the danger you play here at Bristol, Rick, is when do you pass? Do you pass going out of the corner? You try to set it up a couple corners before. Do you set it up on the straightaway? It's hard to do because of the quick notion and quick motion of how many decisions you have to make in such a short period of time.
We've switched over to one of our drone cams tonight to try and give you a better perspective of this track. You're seeing that lead pack, and you're seeing that battle happening. They are too wide as they're making their way around.
We'll see what happens. They get all single file now, but it seems that the 29 has kind of started to fall off a little bit. So was he pushing this car a little bit too hard as Luke Bullard now goes to the bottom side, trying to get his way up into P2, making a statement here with Alonzo King now going to the back bumper. Alonzo King's going to go 3 wide into turn 3. Very, very dangerous move.
He made it work.
And he made the pass. What a move by Alonzo King. Up to P3.
I gotta give it to William Mann Jr. He took the opportunity, fresh tires, moved his way up to the front, and stayed there for a while. Got some points for the leading some laps, and it's okay to back off at this point. You're 30 laps in on these tires. You're going to see some major fall off. They were qualifying around, or best times around the 14:97 mark. We're already at the last lap around 15 and a half. So we're seeing nearly a full half a second fall off on these tires.
Yeah, and that's something I mentioned in pre-race with you, Rick, is the fact that these tires aren't going to fall off too fast and in large amounts. It's going to be a gradual progression. But here, a half second is a lot. A half second around a track like this where you're running 15-second lap times could be equivalent to a second fall off at a 1.5 miles where you're running 30-second lap times. So when you take that into consideration, it's actually quite a bit of fall off. So you have to pay attention to that. You have to run your race clean. And what I'm seeing now is that William Mann Jr. has fallen all the way back to almost, let's see, where is he on the board? He has fallen way far
back to fifth.
Back to fifth. So he is just, I don't know if he's trying to conserve. Not a bad idea. I don't know if his tire's just falling off, but it is slowly making his way back through the field. Non-playoff driver, got to remember that, but still making his way through the field. Now look at P5, Sean Schupman. Sean Schupman is one of those drivers that's on the cutoff. What a strong run for him early on right now in P5. Right behind Doucette and King, 2 of the front runners here in this series. So we'll see what Sean Schupman's able to do. Maybe bring home that number 37 and to the lead pack. There is the 54, I believe, of David Watts.
David's having a good showing, yep. That's the 11 of Joey Doucette. Joey is currently showing in 4th. can jump up to our next Luke Bullard, having a great run tonight, showing in third. The 3 is in third.
Paint scheme 2, great scheme on that front. So the 3 in P3. There's Alonzo King looking to get it done. He is now our highest placed point driver. We'll see what he's able to do as this race progresses. He's been able to gain about a tenth every couple laps on your leader right there, Chris Worrell, who's going to go and lap Pete Woodrum there.
Drop back a bit. There is William Mann Jr. and Ryan Pittman in the 8.
Yep, and we are, Ryan Pittman getting a little loose out of the corner. And Rick, we are 40 laps into this race. So if this trend keeps holding true, which it could, possibly, I'm not going to say too much, green flag stops could be a factor here. Now, that is a whole other story that we really haven't seen much here at Bristol, green flag stops. So you have to know where your stall is. Now, with a field of the size that we do, it looks like we're going to have pit road on the front and the back stretch. Is that correct?
Oh, contact. 43 of Andrew Serwick tagged the left rear of the 29. So yeah, we've got the knowing where your pit stall is important. The other thing is these cars can go around approximately over 100 laps on this tank of fuel, but you know at this point it's figuring out where your tires are and making that adjustment accordingly. You may not be pitting because of fuel. You may be pitting for tires.
Yeah, 100% you may. And right now, this is a battle that you need to pay attention to. William Mann Jr., Andrew Serwick right there, as well as the 22 of Ty Bostic. Those are all drivers that are trying to battle for points, except for the 29 machine. So here comes the 22 in that throwback Tide scheme. Crowded up there by William Mann Jr. See if Bostic's able to make his way into the top 10. Looks like he's able to do so.
Oh, he spun.
He spun. Yep, that's going to bring out our first caution. 22 gets spun by the 29. Out of turn 4. Our first caution of the night on lap 47, brought out by the 29 and the 22. Here is our replay.
Oh, and gets Dord, 91 T-boned him as he spun around.
Brad Previtt. Now, obviously don't think that was intentional there. That's just a matter of 47-lap-old tires and lined up the track. We saw a lot of that in practice where the bottom car would slide up into the top car, not because of anything other than the fact tires. So that brings out our first caution of the night. 48 laps in, we see everybody going to make their way down pit road because everybody needs tires, everybody needs fuel. But Rick, this is also going to give us a chance to have some trivia. So for all our fun trivia fans out there, I have a great array of questions for you tonight. So the first question is, who won the 2008 Food City 500 at Bristol? Your 4 options are Jeff Gordon, Greg Biffle, Denny Hamlin, or Jeff Burton. Answer will be provided once we go green and have about 5 or 10 laps of green flag action. So you have the rest of the caution and a little bit of green flag time to get those answered in. Those other responses or the possible answers are Jeff Gordon, Greg Biffle, Denny Hamlin, or Jeff Burton.
So we're seeing the entire field pretty much has come down pit road. And based on those times, you know they got 4 sticker tires and top back off their fuel.
Yep, you had to, and not too much getting shifted throughout the running order there. You have Worrell trying to get some points, moving his way up to P1, keeping his spot there. You have Alonzo King in second, Bullard in third. I believe Marco Berube may have stayed out, possibly got a point towards the playoffs. So wrong strategy from that machine there, from that driver and team. But right now it looks like everybody is staying pretty consistent there in the top 10.
Yep, Marco Bruby just coming off pit road now. He came back on and wound up getting his tires. Few drivers coming off. This should allow our driver to come back around. Who was a lap down there? Oh, it was Harley Barletta. Harley Barletta was a lap down.
Yep, Harley Barletta is, or was.
I think he still is. I think Brad Previtt, I'm not sure who gets a wave around or how this all shakes out. We're still waiting.
Yeah, I don't know, but it looks like the field's actually doubling up here, so we're going to get green flag racing this time by. Not too sure about that one. Not too sure about that one, Rick, but lights are off on the pace car. We are going to get green flag racing. Here we go after they make their way out of turn 4. Pace car drops off. 25% of this event done, and we have green flag racing again. Bottom line does not fire off very well at all, which allows Joey Doucette to go into P3. Don't look too far back. There comes Luke Bullard.
All right, our fourth caution of the night, 97 laps to go, 154 in the books.
Looks like we had a few more takers. You have Doucette and King following the other two drivers down pit road.
Barletta is in there as well. Got John Ledger. A number of the Average Joe Motorsports teams came in. Alonzo King back in, maybe getting a little bit of damage repaired. Not sure if that, what happened will affect him. We'll have to play that by ear.
We will. As it stands right now, we do have 10 cars on the lead lap, with Alonzo King being the last car on the lead lap. Harley Barletta 7 laps down. Not the run he was looking for. Same thing with Bostic and Berube, both 2 and 3 laps down, respectively, there as this race progresses. So, Rick, it's going to be kind of crazy seeing what happens now. The field's all shaken up. You have Castro out there on point. But don't look too far back. Ogden is having one of the best runs of the season. Looks like the field's trying to get all lined up here. We have a lot of shakeup going on between all the drivers. Looks like we should. Yep, they got it cleared up. And
all right, about to go back to green.
Racing. Here we go. Green flag is out and Castro is off. 93 laps to go here at Bristol. That'll go by in a flash.
Well, cautions breed caution, so we got, as expected, those last 2 incidents happened, but hopefully we can stay green for the rest. Already 54 was in the wall. He's about to get another lap down.
Yeah, better watch out. It's going to be tight coming out of the corner. Oh, he was able to keep it clean. Oh man, it's very close for that 54 machine. The 21 and the 8 are battling side by side. Coming out of turn 2.
Oh. A lot of battles on the track. Tomas Castro is kind of checked out a bit. He's got another almost over a half second ahead of Chris Worrell. Ian Ogden behind, and then the big battle is back here for 4th. You've got William Mann Jr., Ryan Pittman, and Luke Bullard all competing. John, with all the damage we've had and tagging the wall, are we anybody in danger from an incident point perspective?
The only driver is Ty Boston. He's very close, 2 instant points away from getting that drive-through. Everybody else, nobody has more than 4 outside of Harley Barletta, who has 6. So everybody keeping it very clean tonight, which is great to see, especially at a track like this. And just to make note of what we just saw, well, as the 3 bump drafts in 29 going down into the corner, we saw some drivers come down pit road this last time by. I know why they did that, because you can run about 105 to 110 laps on a tank of gas, which means these guys can possibly make it all the way from this point on, because we got the green flag with 93 to go. So, Rick, could they be playing the long game? Could they think that this could go all the way to the end? Possibly. We've seen a couple long green flag runs, but only time will tell. Everybody else is banking on another caution to come out, which at this point,
it's possible. It's possible.
It's possible. It's very possible. As we see right now, though, Bullard on the outside of the 29, moving his way up into P4. Now trying to get around the 21 of Ian Ogden for P3.
That is for position. Luke Bullard.
Oh, close. Luke Bullard, very close there with the 21. Sorry, Rick, didn't mean to cut you, but that was very close racing between those two guys.
Yep, kind of backed off a little bit. Again, you may have a faster line, but you've got to deal with the guy in front of you who may be, unavoidably in your face. Now, he got a teammate. That's the 11 behind the 21 right there, trying to slide up underneath. That 11 is Joey Doucette. That's also for position.
Yes, it is. The 11 and the 21 battling for playoff points here tonight, battling for that championship. Looks like Doucette is able to take that position away.
As Joey Doucette has moved up to 3rd place, Christopher Worrell has taken over the lead past Hermas Castro.
Yep, and Ian Ogden dropping back to 5th now. Still solid run by the 21 machine, but we'll see what he's able to do as time goes on. Christopher Worrell is up to a 2.1 second lead over Hermas Castro. We'll see how long that lasts.
But now, unfortunately, Hermas Castro is in the sights of Joey Doucette, trying to take away P2.
Yep, Joey Doucette has not been on a cold streak, but he hasn't been finishing as high as we have seen him finish at the beginning of the season. We saw him knock off a couple quick wins and then kind of fade just slightly.
Well,
not much, but now he's back up to P2 with Luke Bullard now to P3, and 25 is dropping off.
Let's not forget why. Chris Worrell pitted on lap 153. Joey Doucette, 153. Luke Bullard, 153. Hermas Castro, Ian Ogden, pitted on lap 125. Alonzo King also went in at 154. So they've got 25 laps of fresher tires, and it's showing.
It's all in their favor right now if no cautions come out. They have the fresher tires. They have enough fuel to make it to the end. No, the rest of the guys are banking on some kind of caution to come out here within the last 80 laps or so, 70 laps or so, as we are now winding our way down with 72 to go in the Tech4Troop's at Bristol Baby 250, brought to you by Tech4Troop's Elite Performance Industries 1111 Veteran Project and U-Haul. Round of 12, second race. Are we going to see a non-playoff driver win? Are we going to see Doucette bring home his 5th win of the season? Or will a first-time winner make his way up through the field?
Stay tuned with that, folks. We're going to go side by side one last time. One more commercial break. We'll be right back. You won't miss anything.
When veterans get out of the military, a lot of them don't know how to translate their skill sets into the civilian world, and they lapse into poverty or into homelessness. But it can be easier with the right support. At Tech4Troop's, our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce. We want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
Hello, my name is Amanda, and I support Tech4Troop's.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troop's. It's Bristol, baby, 250, round of 12. We've got 67 laps here to go. Want to thank our sponsors, Tech4Troop's, 1111 Project, U-Haul, and EPI. We couldn't make this happen without them, and also you. We appreciate you tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troop's Cup Series each and every Wednesday night.
Yep, and you know, this calls for an answer to the question. So, the question was under our last caution: who won the 2006 Food City 500 at Bristol? Well, to give you a hint, this may spark your memory, he did snow angels on the track after he won, even though there was no snow on the track. That guy was Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch was the winner of the 2006 Food City 500, and we may have a first-time winner here at Bristol. If Luke Bullard keeps on putting on almost a clinic as he is, he's making his way all the way up into second place right now, getting past Joey Doucette with 63 to go, Rick. Bullard's on a tear.
He sure is. He's definitely moved up quickly through that last run of pit stops. Now, he did pit last, though, on lap 153 along with those other guys. I think that was a smart move. We'll see how this all plays out. Now, pretty much the entire field has been down pit road. At least the top four guys, who are all pitted on last on lap 154, are there. They came in 3 times onto pit road. That means they've used 3 sets of tires. There's probably 1 set in the bank. Now, behind them, Ogden, Castro, Serwick, those guys just used 2 sets of tires. They still got 2 fresh sets sitting on their pit box.
And that could come down to who can win and who will not here at the end. It's all a matter of if the caution comes out. Right now, you see the 8 putting the 29 machine of William Mann Jr. 1 lap down.
These guys are working their way through lap traffic. This is the hardest part of Bristol. It's not easy to pass. It's especially hard when you've got drivers who are a little bit slower than you are, maybe not in the same line you are, and you got to work your way around. It's not easy. All right.
It's not, and you just got to be careful with it.
58 laps to go to wrap up the Tech4Troop's. It's Bristol, baby, 250. We thank you for joining us. We appreciate you coming out. If you are a repeat watcher, to come out each and every week on Wednesday nights. Also, if you are looking at some more racing to watch here on iRacing and here on the IWM Broadcast Network, this Sunday we've got 500 miles at Daytona. That is going to be as part of our Super Speedway Kings. It's the Jimmy Crowe Sr. Daytona 500. That starts here. Qualifying is at 3:30 Eastern, and racing will be at 3:35 Eastern Standard Time.
That's going to be a fun event. Tune into that. Long race, but fun race. We did the Talladega race for them, and it was a spectacular event to cover. So make sure to tune in. That also make sure to tune in Tuesdays as well. Got some other fun, exciting leagues going on that we are going to be showcasing throughout the upcoming months and weeks, or weeks and months rather. Right now, as it stands, Whirl is your leader. Only about 0.8 of a second over Luke Bullard, trying to get his first win of the season. Luke is with a 4-time winner to set right behind him with King, Ogden, Castro, Serwick, Shubin, Pittman. All the cars on the lead lap. And I'm looking at some of those names back there, Rick. Pittman, 15 seconds. Shubin, 15 seconds. Serwick, 15 seconds. All these guys essential to the playoffs, and they could be getting a lap down here very, very soon.
Yeah, so you're watching that tower, and you're probably shocked as we are by those differential gap times. Bullard 8/10, Doucette 5.41 seconds, King 9.11, Ogden 12.75. It only takes 15 seconds to make it around this track, and you're seeing these guys falling farther and farther back behind Chris Worrell.
You are, and Chris Worrell's having a hard time getting around all these guys. There's Ryan Pittman there.
37 in the wall.
It keeps it going, though. That's Sean Shootman running that very high line. It does work.
Sean Shootman last pitted on lap 136. That's nearly 67 laps ago. His tires are shot.
They are. And it's going to be close for those drivers trying to make it to the end. So we'll see if those guys that did not come down on this last caution can make it, or they're going to have to pit again. We don't know. I mean, it was definitely a risk to come down pit road, but it obviously is paying dividends. For those drivers that did come down pit road.
Yeah, that was the 8 making it around the 91 of Privet. That was tight.
Yes, it was. And folks, we have 45 to go here at Bristol. It's been a fun race, a clean race, a green flag full race. Glad to see that. As that number 8 Cyber Power Camaro all the way out front. Let's see if we can go along board the number 8 machine, see what he's seeing out in the front of his car, leading the pack here at Bristol.
He's got the 21 of Ian Ogden. Ian Ogden's the last car on the lead lap. He's trying to work his way around him.
Ian's not going to give up that high line. And there goes Chris right around the 21 machine. Put that at 5 cars.
Well, Ian Ogden last pitted last 125. He has got 85 laps on those tires.
Yeah, he's going to have to come down pit road eventually. And, you know, what I'm seeing out of Chris's car is he is running a very consistent line here. He is not really changing much in his line, not much variation, as he is looking to get around the 29 machine. That's William Mann Jr. And right in front of him, Hermaz Castro. It was just a few laps ago we were talking, hey, Hermaz is out front. See what he's able to do. Now he's in danger of becoming 1 lap down. And look at the board, Rick. Bullard is now 3.5, almost 4 seconds back from Bullard, or from Worrell rather. So
this is a short track. This is a short track clinic here that Chris Worrell is putting on. Oh, a little loose there. You saw him fighting that wheel a bit.
Yep. Could we see a full field lap? Could we see a complete clinic? I guess it's NASCAR's equivalent of a shutout, I guess you could say, where none of the drivers that you're racing are actually on the same lap as you. I don't know. Is that even a thing? If it's not, I just joined it. But we'll see what's able to happen as that lead is now growing to almost 4.5, now going up to possibly 5 seconds. As this race dwindles down, 36 to go.
36 laps to go. Chris Worrell has nearly lapped the entire field. It's 5 cars currently on the lead lap, and Hermaz Castro is the last one in front. He's working his way around the 25. He'll next set his sights on the 80 of Alonzo King. That was close. Again, that was the 91 of Brad Previtt there. Found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's the 54 of David Watt right behind as well. The 25 goes up high. He can't have much control. Those tires are forever old.
We've seen the 91 be a pick many times here tonight. Same thing with the 54. So definitely seems like it's just what you battle here at Bristol. It happens. So right now, 4 cars on the lead lap. The next victim is going to be Alonzo King.
Well, Alonzo King pitted at the same time. So everybody who's left on the lead lap, Luke Bullard, Joey Doucette, Alonzo King, all those guys pitted last. together on lap 153, 154.
They did, but look at Hermes Castro. He is not giving up this position very easily. He wants to get back on that lead lap.
He is the last car on the lead lap. If a caution does come out, he will be the lucky dog and make his way back up. But there are only 29 laps to go.
Yep, with 29 to go, you know, it's not much anybody can really do at this point. You know, Castro is sitting in a comfortable 5th.
I don't know about fuel, John. For some reason, I was thinking it was only about 100, 110 laps in a fuel stop, but yeah, not sure.
It is. It's about 100 to 110 by my calculations. So
that's 235.
Yep, we will have to see some guys come down pit road, I believe.
They're all hoping for a caution. Christopher Worrell is hoping to stay green.
Yeah, exactly. He is hoping that this race does not end under caution, even though, let's say, or not under caution, let's say another caution doesn't come out. But even let's say a caution does come out, Rick, there's only going to be 5 cars on the lead lap.
4.
It's not, well, with the wave around.
Yeah, Hermes Castro. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be 5 cars, so you're not really racing against anybody that, you know, you're not racing against 10 other guys, 15 other guys, so the field is dwindled down, but I think that even adds on a little bit of added pressure because you know who they are, and you just got to keep in front of those guys. And right now you're seeing 54 right there battling, same thing with a 25, 24 to go.
You know, some of these guys are just trying to stay out of trouble, you know, because, you know, whether they're a lap down or not, they're still going to be scored in top 10. So, you know, William Mann Jr.'s top 10, 9th, Sean Shipman, Ryan Pittman, Andrew Serwick, all those guys are playoff drivers.
Yep, and they are still racing for position on the track. You know, even though they're a lap down, they're still racing with all the other lap down cars. So it all matters here as this race goes on. Joey Doucette is your highest placing playoff driver. He is second in points behind the 25 of Hermes Castro, trying to get himself kept on the lead lap. Same thing with that 80, but
so that's
cars in front of those guys.
Yeah, but then also that's for position. That Alonzo King is trying to get in front of Joey Doucette.
Oh, we got a caution.
Caution is out.
In the wall.
Brad Previtt has crashed. Well, this will shake things up, won't it?
It'll change everything. This will change everything. Now, let's see what happened here. 91 a little loose right there. Still loose.
We just snap back.
Still loose. Is he going to tag the wall? Able to keep it off the wall? Little kiss on the wall. Maybe a little bit more. Brings out the caution as you see the lights flash right there. Well, Rick, 18 to go.
It's going to be pretty quiet on pit road right now because there's only 4 that are going to come down.
That is true. Now, let's see. Could this shake up the field? Could those guys that didn't come down pit road? Well, I guess everybody's lapped out, so they're going to have to come out of another sequence. That's correct. Do you think anybody will risk it and stay out here?
I don't think so. With 125 laps on their tires, I don't understand why they would.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
All right, this is your 5th caution of the night.
Yes, it is. 5th caution, which means another question. You know
Why don't we go to the number 6 question there, John?
Number 6 question. Okay. So, if you know your Bristol, you should know this like the back of your hand. And no Googling, Angelin. We know how that works. How long is Bristol Motor Speedway? How long is Bristol Motor Speedway? 0.75 miles, so 3/4 of a mile. 1 mile, 2 miles, 0.533 miles, so basically a half mile. How long is Bristol Motor Speedway? I may have mentioned it a little bit earlier in the chat, or in the broadcast, talking about fuel strategy and how many laps they can go.
One thing I do know is we got 16 laps to go. By the time we go back to green, it's going to be just a handful of laps.
It will, and what this is going to do is Bullard has been one of the fastest cars on the short run. Will Bullard make a move to try to put himself in a position to win? Or will a repeat winner win here? Kings won a race in the series this season. Same thing with Doucette, same thing with Castro. So, anything could happen. It's going to be wild. 15 to go.
Lights are off on the pace car. We're going to get back to green flag racing momentarily.
Lights are off. Here we go. Worrell is the control car. He is off. 14 laps to go as we hit the line.
Trying to keep a little bit of a look in the back here because it could be interesting. Fresh tires. Oh, Alonzo King. That was Alonzo King. Six. That's Brad Previtt, I think, has now crashed.
Also, just really quick to answer that last question, because we're under the caution. The answer is 0.533 miles. So, a half mile. Wild man, it wasn't 0.75. Close, but is a half mile.
This is Joey. This is the 80, and he tags the wall. But at the same time, let's go to the 91 of Brad Previtt. He is involved as well with the 43. Let's get a 43 car far chase. Oh. Just lost it.
Yep, we've seen that before tonight. Nothing that the 43 can do. Nothing that the 91 can do either. So.
Hey, Joey Doucette. Let's just see. Well, with a short track like this, sometimes, you know, we get iRacing says that there's been an incident, and we go to that incident. It's basically just the car coming across the apron or the entry of pit road. But so far, we've got 10 laps to go. Is it possible we'll go to a green-white checker here at Bristol? Everything's possible.
Anything's possible at Bristol, just like it's possible that Ryan Pittman can now win the race. He is back on the lead lap in 6th position. And what that's going to do, that's just going to add another car to the mix. Another car that Worrell and Bullard and Doucette have to fight off. And we're under caution again, Rick, which means I am going to bring up question number 9. I think this is a pretty fun one. Who won the inaugural race at Bristol Motor Speedway? Was it Bobby Johns, Jack Smith, Johnny Allen, or Joe Weatherly?
You've got to really to be a Bristol Motor Speedway aficionado to be able to pull this one out.
Or you have 2 opposable thumbs and you can search up on Google. You have that option as well. So either one is, well, one of them is a little bit more honorable than the other. But either way,
It's always fun to learn about our different venues as we take these caution breaks. And so here we are, 6th caution of the night, 9 laps to go. Lights are about to drop off that pace car, and we are going back under green flag with 7 to go at the stripe. That'll go by in less than 2 minutes if we stay green.
Yep. Don't want to blink at all. I know I'm not going to be blinking here.
Luke Bullard is on the outside.
Can he do anything? Can he pull this off?
Huge opportunity for Luke.
Win.
He is.
Maybe Oscar the Grouch on the back of that car is going to smile if he could bring home a win. Pace car's off.
Oh!
8 launches.
Oh, 3 just did not get a good start. In fact, he got a little bit of a kiss in the back by the 80 2 or 3 times to say, hey, man, you got to go.
That is right, and we are now 7 laps to go, 6 laps to go. This time by, gap is half a second. We'll see if anybody's able to catch the 8 of Chris Worrell. Here we go, gap is dwindling down. Worrell goes to the high side of the track, getting that run off the corner. Bullard's to the wall, King's to the wall, Hermes to the wall.
Castro is running that high line. Can he make that work? Previtt staying low. He doesn't want any part of affecting the outcome of this race. He's letting these leaders go by. Worrell, Bullard, King. He has caught the tail end of the 80. He is close to making a move on him with 4 laps to go.
Oh, Luke's a little loose. That's going to bring up the 80.
Giving him a run, a great opportunity for the 80 to take over that position. He is the inside of Luke Bullard. Castro to the outside.
Oh, 80 got loose.
3 saves his position. Castro stays high. 80 stays low.
No, 25 had to back out of it. 80 was going to shut the door and did shut the door, but this is going to bring an opportunity for the 11 of Joey Doucette as the white flag
flies. 2 more corners to go here at Bristol. Chris Worrell leads the pack.
Oh.
Luke Bullard. Oh, he's sideways at the start-finish. They are wrecking across the line.
That was Worrell. That was wild. Oh, and we're still wrecking. I was like, there is no way. There is no way that Worrell's going to lose this one. But we have to go back and take a look at that replay, Rick, at the end of that one, because that was close. It looked like the 80 was giving it all he had. The 8 was giving it all he had.
There's the 80 sliding through. We can bring that back. Let's look at it again. This time we'll pick it up from Alonzo King. Right on the bumper of the 3. 3 loses it, 80 loses it. They gave it their all, that's for sure.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Let's go to the start-finish line. You have the 8 of Chris Worrell burning it out here. Your victor in tonight's Tech4Troop's Bristol Baby 250, brought to you by Tech4Troop's Elite Performance Industries 1111 Veteran Project, as well as U-Haul. Your final finishing order for tonight's race, unofficial results. Chris Worrell is your winner with Luke Bullard with a strong P2, Alonzo King in 3rd,